Tonight's story on timepiece therapy is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction. This, as you may recognise, is a selection of all the parts for a watch build, but chosen by a subscriber. They left a comment in my last video, and we ended up talking. They had a great design for a watch, really something special and meaningful, and this ended up being more than just a watch. He told me about the moment his life changed forever, the day his son was born, and it happened at exactly 6:30, and to commemorate that moment, he wants his partner to hand draw a sun on the dial right at the 6:30 position. A piece of art and a piece of family history captured in one watch. So I sent them out, and this is what came back. This is beautiful. One of his main ideas for the watch was minimal, but with a feature, and this is great. So let's get this attached to the movement. Unlike the other builds in my last videos, I need to cut off the other 4 dial feet that aren't needed. So I'm actually just checking which ones they are, because, like I say before, measure twice, cut once. Now let's put that freshly cut dial onto the movement. I also needed to set the watch to just midnight to make sure that they line up where they should, because after all, the 6:30 position needs to be correct. So now let's move on to the hands. And like I said before, all these parts were chosen by them, including these hands. First, I put the hour hand on. And this hour hand went on really easily first time. So now it goes the minute hand. I had a bit of trouble finding the right size tool for this hand, but I do eventually get there. And I would call that pretty much done. But now, the next step is putting the seconds hand on. And it took me quite a few tries, but I did eventually do it. Now, of course, to test this, we push the stem in, and then we should see the second hand ticking.
Yes!
I also don't know what that noise I made was, but I do know that I was very, very happy. But after a quick check, I saw that the hands were occasionally rubbing on the dial and rubbing together. And also, I saw that the date window looked further back than it should, which meant that the dial cast a shadow on the date. And as I looked closer and saw that there were stumps from the dial feet that I cut off still there. So this meant I had to start all over again. So I used a relatively thick plastic bag and 2 flathead screwdrivers to take these hands off without scratching anything. So first to come off is the second hand. And now I take off the 2 hands together. So, after carefully removing the hands, I could trim back and file the bits of dial feet that I'd left there. So now, with the practice run behind me, I could install the dial and the hands again, this time on my first try. Now, the case. One of the first things he said when he pitched this watch was that he wanted a transparent case. I was hesitant, but luckily, AliExpress sells these. And immediately, I see a few scratches on the front. I tried to see if they come up with the cloth. They don't. I do have a watch face polish, so I asked my subscriber if he wanted me to try, and he said sure, but I thought let's put it together first. So the first step in doing that is to take out the temporary stem that the movement is shipped with, and put the case over the movement and flip the whole thing over as one. And now we screw in the stem and look at how much we need to cut off. Now, the only bit of this build I could mess up was here, cutting the stem to fit. Because these arrive longer than you need to be able to fit any case that you want to put it in. And in the last video you saw me cut it far too short, and I wasn't ready to make that mistake again. So while I'm doing this on camera, I was also looking at the analytics for my channel, and I saw that the majority of viewers are not subscribers. So if you are enjoying this and want to see more unique, one-of-a-kind watch builds, don't forget to subscribe, and who knows, maybe I'll build your watch next. So after very slowly cutting and testing the stems fit, it was finally ready to seal it up. And now the job was to get rid of these scratches. Luckily, I had just the right thing. Polywatch. I bought this a few years ago, and now I finally get to use it. It says to rub this on the watch face for 2 to 3 minutes, and in keeping with my channel theme, I bring out a stopwatch to time this. So after the first go, there's still a few deeper scratches, so I'll give this another go or two. And now it's done. This has been the most special and meaningful build I have done so far. A piece of art and a piece of family history. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's free and it really helps me out. Thank you very much for watching.